Something we hear a lot is people saying, oh, the virus has gotten milder over time, or oh, there are viral pressures so that it's weak. Well, if you look through my COVID transmission playlist, we reviewed from Omicron and Delta all the way to the current variants for the most released literature, and I can tell you emphatically that that is not the case. COVID has mutated and evolved to become more transmissible. Well, what do I mean by this? Well, originally, the Wuhan strain only needed about 500 virions to infect someone through inhalation, but now you only need about 100 virions to infect someone with inhalation. This is the equivalent of someone infected with COVID talking to you for a couple minutes. So it has, one, become easier to transmit. Two, the incubation time has gotten much shorter. Now, what is the incubation time? This is the time from initial exposure to the virus, where it starts replicating in you, you start transmitting virus, and then you have symptoms. So it's essentially the time from initial infection to symptom presentation. Initially, this was about 5 to 6 days on average. Then around the Delta strain, it took about 3 to 4 days. With Omicron, it took about 2 to 3 days. Now it's looking like 1 to 2 days. So it's replicating much faster and more efficiently. So it takes less to infect you, and it replicates a lot faster. Now, something that is slightly positive is that the hospitalization rate is much lower. However, the absolute number of hospitalizations is higher. How can that be? Well, because more people get infected with the current strains, the current variants, a smaller proportion of people that are being hospitalized from a much larger number results in a larger number of hospitalizations than you would with a less infectious variant of COVID that has a higher proportion being hospitalized. Not only that, the time from initial infection to hospitalization is much shorter as well. So you're having these severe symptoms pop up very quickly. On average, it's about 3 to 4 days from initial infection to being hospitalized, which is about 1 to 2 days after symptoms appear. And there doesn't seem to be a statistically significant difference between current variants versus old variants for the duration of hospital stay. It might be a couple days, 1 or 2 days less on average, but overall it doesn't really seem to be impacted. And then to get a snapshot of what the current variants look like in terms of the infection window for symptomatic people, I've been holding a survey. We have 312 respondents so far, where this blue right here is 3 to 6 days being symptomatic, and then the orange would be 7 to 10 days, and then greater than that. And what's interesting is that the weighted average is about 9 days of symptomatic infection with our current variants. And the median is resting between 7 and 10 days of symptomatic presentation from first positive test to first negative test. However, this does not include the transmission window before symptoms and then slightly after symptoms. So I adjusted for that and did 1.5 days before symptoms. I added that on, and then 1.5 days after the first negative where you could still be transmitting virus. So when we look at that, it's about 12 days, and then the window raises to between 10 and 13 days, which again is not statistically significantly different from what we've seen from previous variants, according to what we've looked at for the COVID transmission playlist. Taking all this into consideration, we can actually say that no, COVID is not evolving to be milder or to become a weaker virus whatsoever. It's becoming more efficient and more effective at what it does.